In this video, I'll be showing you how I make between $1,000 and $5,000 days using AI and ChatGPT. This image here was completely generated with AI, including the text that you see. And I'm using this to generate attention, traffic, and finally sales. I like to focus on high-ticket sales, which basically means that I sell high-ticket products, my own or other people's products. And if you want, I'm going to be giving you access to my free training course as well. I'm not going to be charging you anything for that course. It's the same course that generated $100,000 for me. But check this out. You can see these different images were generated completely by AI. The first thing that you want to do is you want to go to a site called Replicate, where you can create tons of different thing. This is a robot or an AI which created these images of me that I can use for different purposes, such as creating Facebook posts with images, YouTube community posts, create videos with these images, and a ton of other things. Once you're here at Replicate, you want to create an account. Once you've done that, you're going to see your username at the top. Then where it says search for Luca Taco. I'm going to click on Luca Taco here. The main important thing is not this specific page. You want to go to this username, in this case, Luca Taco. And all of these different things that you see here on the screen, these are essentially AI bots, or models as they call them, which you can use to produce different things or create different things, such as cloned images of yourselves. At the moment that you're watching this, you have to scroll down this until you find this section called Luca Taco /AI-toolkit. I'm going to click here. The first thing that we need to do is to train this AI robot or model. That way, we're going to be able to use this later on to create unlimited images of yourself and to actually use this to create attention, traffic, and sales finally. Stick with me just a little bit more, and I'm going to be showing you how you can get access to my entire training course, which I used to sell, but I'm not doing that anymore. You're going to get access to that completely free. That being said, once here, you click on train. Once here, you need to enter a couple of things, just a few. Where it says destination, you want to select a model. Then you want to create a new model. You can see here below that I've already done that because that's how I actually created these images. In your case, create a new model, and it's going to be your username and your model name, which is going to be specific to you. So this AI bot knows that it has to create images, clones, in other words, of you. So you can name this whatever you want. In this case, I'm just going to repeat myself and name this Robin Palmer. Then I'm going to go here and it says upload a zip file containing your training data. You'll have to add images to a zip file and upload that here. The minimum required are 12 images. I uploaded around 20 or 27 images. Then what you need to do is you have to name each photo like this. So a photo of, and the part that you need to change is this part. I would add something like Rob's because that's the name that I gave the images. I added all of these different images. You can see that it has the same name. And then this last part, I would change that to Rob's. And hopefully this is not too confusing, but if we go back here, I just entered this to show you if I would create a new version, a new model to train. If we go back here, you can see that I already created one earlier, which is called Rob's. That's the reason I named this a photo of Rob. So in your case, you want to name this something different, like a photo of Jonas, maybe something like that. The difference is going to be that each file is going to contain just a different number. Then I added all of these different images to a zip file. You essentially highlight all of this, click the right button. You want to compress this to a zip file. You click on that. As you can see, it has created this zip file. Then you want to go back to Replicate. I'm going to choose this one for the sake of this example. Upload the zip file that we just created. So you can click here on this icon, and then you can drop a file or you can upload it. I'm just going to do that here. You just select one of these. I'm not going to do this right now because I've already done that. The rest here, you can leave this as it is. I haven't changed this. This here, the steps though, I have this at 1,000 steps. If we scroll down, you can leave the learning rate, batch size, resolution, plural, linear, all of that as it is. Now here for the repo ID string, this is something that you want to change. The reason for this is because this is going to integrate with another site. It's going to automate the process. It's going to connect this model or this trained model that we're creating together with another site called Hugging Face. That's the reason we want to use an ID. As you can see here, it has to look like this. So in my case, my username is Robin Palmer / add a specific name here, Robs. But before you actually click on this button, and this is very important, go to huggingface.co and create an account. You want to go to this icon at the top, click on Settings, click on Access Tokens, click on Create New Token here, and you want to click on Fine Grade. The next step is to give this token a name. So we want to go back to Replicate, and you remember this here, the repo ID string. Copy this, the text that goes after the /. We go back to Hugging Face, and you paste that here, and now you have the token name. I've already created one, so I'm not going to create one again. But let's say you had a different name. Let's say yours were Jonas-Laura. Then what you would do is you would copy this here, then you would enter this as your token name. The next thing that I did is check all of this here. Anything below discussions and posts and billing, I didn't check. Once that is done, you want to go and you want to click on Create Token. Once you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to get an API code. The next step is to click on Create Token, and you're going to get the token, and then you click on Copy. The next step would be to actually create the training, because now it's connected to Hugging Face. Once you create this, it's going to appear inside Hugging Face. Within Hugging Face, if you go to this icon and you go to your username, you're going to be able to see your models. And if we click on this one, under files and versions, you're going to be able to see how Replicate connected everything with Hugging Face. Now, one important thing for Hugging Face to actually connect with this AI bot is that you have to make your Hugging Face model public. If you haven't done that, you want to go to Settings and make sure that it's not private. It has to look like this. This model is currently public. If it's not working for you, make sure it's public. Now, once you click on Create Training, it's going to take around, depending on the amount of images. In my case, it took around 30 minutes. Once that is done, go and actually start creating the images. If we go back to Luca Taco, which is this person's username, scroll down until you find Flux Dev Laura. Click on this, and now we're going to be starting creating the images. Okay, so here's a prompt that I created with ChatGPT. The aspect ratio is essentially how you want the image to look like, or the size. As you can see on the right, this image is what I've actually used for this YouTube video. For a YouTube thumbnail, that should be 16 by 9. If you're looking for an Instagram post or TikTok, go for 9 by 16. Change this as you want. For the prompt strength, what I use is 0.5. You can just drag this up and down. I found that if I use 0.5, I get the best results. The number of outputs, interference steps, guidance scale, I just leave that as it is. Seed, the same thing. I just leave the default. And here where it says HF LoRa string, it's your username / and the name that we gave it earlier. Then for the LoRa scale, I would just leave that as it is. You can test with PNG, whatever you prefer. And then the output quality, I like to have it at 100%. How did I actually create this image? I went to YouTube and I searched for make money online with AI. I wanted to use an image that I knew were getting pretty good results in terms of views. You can see this one is getting 83K views, was uploaded 2 months ago. I just screen capture that image. I went to ChatGPT, typed in something like this. Analyze this image. The trigger word should be Robs. I entered the trigger word as Robs because that's how I saved my file. Photo of Robs. This is the last part that would change. In your case, that would be the trigger word. Essentially, it started creating this prompt. I modified this a little bit because I wanted it to look a little bit different, but what you would need to enter is something similar to what I just showed you or what you see here. What I like to do is I like to enter this phrase here, explain it to a thumbnail generator AI. Then you can fine tune it. Let's say you want it to show specific things. You can change that around like you see here. You can pause pause the video if you want to. I just did this because I wanted to test it out. But usually many of these can be done with just one prompt and just paste that into Flux. Here, this was the end result. I copy this. Then I wanted to make sure it had this video title. Then I went to Flux DevLora and I pasted that here. Keep in mind, this is after you've trained your model with your images. Let's do a new version of this. Let's see what happens. So if I click on run, you can see it's going to start creating the output or the final image. This is the final result. In some cases, it makes it a little bit too big, so you might want to check that out and change that if you want to. As you can see, it's really powerful. If you need to change this text here, you can use Canva, go to edit, and then you can select this tool here, grab text, and you can change the text. So if I click here and then I click on grab, I'm going to be able to change the text. So I can completely erase it, or I can add with AI, something like that. If you need to change this text, because sometimes AI mess up the text, but in many cases, the output is perfect, in my opinion. Now, to create these images, it costs around like 1/10 of a penny. So it's really cheap. I created tons of images with this. I've just paid like a couple of dollars for this. Now, let's take this same example. And let's say you want to post something on Facebook. What you can do is you can change the aspect ratio, and maybe you want to do something like this. 9:16. You can change it however you want. I click again, and it's going to create a new image for us. This is the final output for this. It actually added $50,000 days, but it works. Now, the reason why I use AI is to generate attention, to automate the process of generating different things that would take me a lot of time, like creating YouTube thumbnails, short form content. The same process applies to generating videos. This image, this is part of a video that I created for short form content. What I do is I click here, and this is with the Gen 3 model within Runway. If you click on Gen 3 Alpha, then you select from assets, choose an image from your computer. This is me as the superhero Robin. You can add a description if you want. In this case, what you can do is you can go to ChatGPT. Earlier, I actually made one. Let us see how it ends. But first, I forgot that I was doing image to video, so I did this here. But then I said, explain this to an image to video generator, AI Gen 3. Then I went to Runway. I uploaded this image and I entered the prompt that ChatGPT created. I'm going to click on generate and let us see what happens. Okay, so there wasn't much movement in this one. I'll have to fine tune this, but this is how it works. If we go back to what I created earlier, this here is what I created. The process that I just showed you, this is exactly how I generate these videos. There's a sign that goes to my free training, which is the 7figureincubator.com. When uploading the image here, after you described here below how you want it to look, make sure the first frame and the last frame is the same. That way it's not going to change the text within design, because that happened to me when I was trying to generate these videos. And then you can take this here and add that to CapCut. It looks like this. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but as you can see, it looks pretty cool. Everything here was created with Replicate, Hugging Face, and Runway for the actual videos. If you want to create a voiceover, you can go to 11 Labs to create that. But the main purpose, as I said, is to generate attention. And what's going to happen here is that you can share this to Facebook, to Instagram, to different places. And people are going to start reaching out to you. You can share with them what you are doing. If you would like me to send you this entire training that generated me 100K online for completely free. I was actually charging for this before, but I'm giving you all of this, hours upon hours, months of me creating videos. If you want to get that for free, just drop a comment below and I'm going to send you access to this 100% free.